Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Cinema B-Side. And guess where we're going today? We're going back to the Disney studio, and this time for an FYC event for the show Sketchbook on Disney Plus. And we're gonna learn how to draw Mickey Mouse from a real Disney animator. So are you ready? Let's go! Hello cinephiles, it's me Todd. I'm in the studio. As you can see, I just wanted to let everyone know that the best way to support the channel is to subscribe to my Patreon, where not only do you become a member of the community, you get early access to the B-side videos, as well as watch-throughs of movies or TV shows we are covering, and other movie reactions and commentaries from a filmmaker's perspective. And if that's out of your budget, no worries, just hit that like button. It really does help out the channel with the algorithm. And of course, subscribe to get the latest videos delivered directly to you. Hit that notification bell to be alerted of the newest uploads, and please share these videos with your friends and family. And now, back to our regularly scheduled program. Here we are at the Disney Animation Building for Sketchbook. Here we go, let's go inside.
Alright, you can tell us.
Thank you.
Hi.
Disney Sketchbook. Where do we go?
We're gonna go upstairs.
We're going upstairs, okay. I've never been in this building. We were here recently for the Bed, Knobs, and Broomsticks event. Check it out, oh my god. Wow, look at all those guys.
It's totally cool to take pictures with the words and art. And I think once you get into the crafting capacity area, the open space, then it's less photos approved.
Got it. Thank you.
Look at all their Oscars, Emmy Awards. And all this fun stuff. Some type of conference room. An OG Plane Crazy drawing. And a bunch of animation art on the walls. Oh my god, look at all this. Look at all this, guys. There we go. I wonder. Look at this Pooh Bear. Check it out, they have these like statues of Anna and Elsa and Olaf and a chariot. Look, there's animators back there. There's an animator, he's working. So yeah, they're gonna show us how to draw the Disney Sketchbook FYC event today. Look at this Vinylmation collection. All these books.
Show Variety, I'm an editor at Variety. Welcome to Walt Disney Animation Studios. So excited to be your host and learn more about Sketchbook, the original series created for Disney Plus with the acclaimed documentary filmmaking team at Supper Club. This show explores the creative process and personal passions of 60 extraordinary Disney animation artists. And please join me in welcoming, because we'll start at right there. We have Sketchbook executive producer and director Jason Sturman. Story artist Janet Philly, who draws Kuzco in his episode. And the director Mark Henn, who draws Simba in his CG and 2D animator Young Min Lee, who draws Olaf in her episode. Also joining us is story artist Samantha Hilford, who draws Mirabelle. Visual development artist Chin Kim, who draws Captain Hook in his episode. And animator, director Eric Goldberg, who draws the TV. Before we get started, whenever I have people as accomplished as any of you, I just love to go back to the beginning and ask, what was your first first love? When did you first get into animation? Was there like a gateway character or movie that made you realize, you know, you could create these, I want to say creatures, these characters? Start with you.
Oh yeah, for me, I definitely was like, I think a lot of people obsessed in the early 90s with the VHS tapes from Disney. And definitely like, there was this one trailer for Mulan before it came out that was like all this beautiful, gorgeous, rough animation of Mulan's like hand grabbing Shang's arm during the avalanche scene. And I was like, what is this? This is exactly what I do in school. Okay, I draw too, but it's like moving and magical and like, what? So I quickly kind of became obsessed with that, and I was like, I guess there's this thing called animation, and it kind of became like a little obsession.
That's so cool. Mulan's my favorite, so.
I feel you, yeah.
Jim, for you?
Oh yeah, of course, I grew up watching all these Disney animations, classics. So as soon as I watched the Peter Pan movie when I was 9 years old, I thought that was it. So I want to be I didn't know exactly I want to be an animator, because I have no concept of what is animation, an animator. But I just wanted to do something like this.
Did you want to be Peter Pan?
Yes. I wanted to fly.
Eric.
You know, when I was growing up, I'm very old, but when I was growing up, it was a cornucopia of animation on television at the time. You had all the great theatrical cartoons coming on. You had the Disneyland program where Walt explained animation. You had the Woody Woodpecker show where Walter Lantz explained animation. And animation was just all around me, and I just ate it up with a spoon. There wasn't a particular show or character or it was just animation land. I wanted to be part of it.
And you are. Gabby, for you?
For me, it was Snow White. I was really scared of Snow White as a kid, but I could still watch it all the time. I remember very vividly hiding under the table when the Eagle Queen turned into the Witch Queen. But I liked it so much that my nickname when I was a kid, it was Goomba when I was a baby. And then I watched the movie so many times that everybody started calling me Goomba White.
No. As a kid, Snow White is a horror movie. It's terrifying.
But it captivated me.
Yes. Mark?
Well, for me, it was Cinderella, and I saw that 19 whatever, a long time ago. It was probably on a re-release, obviously. It wasn't around for the first. But Cinderella, and then I remember as a small boy going to a camp, a weekend camp, where they ran The Reluctant Dragon. And that's, it goes behind the scenes. And when they went into an animator's room, which of course was all staged and everything, but you had Helen Kimball there doing a drawing of Goofy with Robert Benchley looking over his shoulder. That was just pure magic to me when he said, now you want to see it move. And he took the drawings and started flipping and whistling a tune, and Goofy came to life, and I was hooked. So that was it for me.
And Mark's going to be doing a drawing demonstration later.
I will be.
Probably several, judging by
I may be here till tomorrow.
So yeah, I think for me it was when I watched Robin when I was 4, and that was the first Disney feature that I ever saw, and I only wanted to watch that until my mom told me, I promise you there are more like these. And so I watched them all of them over and over again, and then on TV they also did these behind the scenes featurettes from I think a lot of them were from the 70s. They had Frank and Ollie in them, and I think John Musker was in one of them too, and they would be drawing, and it's kind of like what Jen said, I didn't know what animation or animating was, but I was like, I want to be part of that in some way, in some form.
And we can all acknowledge that Robin Hood is really handsome, right?
Oh, yeah, I would say my first crushes were Robin Hood and Gene Kelly.
See, we kind of share some DNA. Well, big congratulations on such a fantastic series. It's so much fun. Someone earlier used the It's very soothing to watch you all draw and to hear your stories. But I'd love to start at the beginning with Jason. What was sort of the initial impetus for this series? What made you think, let's go behind the scenes, not just with these characters, but the actual artists?
I mean, the interesting thing for us, we've been lucky enough, we've had a partnership with Disney for quite a few years now, and in doing the rounds of going to different studios between Marvel and Lucas and Pixar, coming here and everyone who's in this room who hasn't been here before is now realizing when you walk in here for the first time, it's hard not to feel this kind of magic that kind of like flows through the hallways. And so from the earliest conversations with Emmy, who's an EP on the series, and who is really the person who helped gather this kind of like A-list group of individuals to become everyone's instructors. The idea behind it really was trying to find this thing that connected, I think, everyone back to something that is very real and you do in your youth, which is everyone at some point in their life draws. At some point, and a lot of the artists here will say that, people kind of stop, others keep with it, and this is the group and the people who walk these halls with who kept at it. You kind of lose that ability of, I think, having the escapism that comes with losing yourself and your own abilities. And so finding this series was this thing of how do you reconnect with that? Now at the same time too, how do you make something that's approachable so that you don't have to feel as if you can only follow along and watch the show. The other half of that is understanding who the people are who work here. The people obviously come from very different backgrounds and they've all found this path which has led them here, but taken different roads to get there. And so there's something to be explored and something to be celebrated in that. And hopefully what the series does is encourages you to pick up a pencil if you haven't in a long time, or if you are someone who does avidly draw, find a new way of drawing something that you may be familiar with, but get a little bit of that kind of instruction, while at the same time also understanding what the human component is. Because one of the things that lacks in almost every single animation movie is the ability of seeing real life humans. But these things are made from the hands of real life humans. So being able, I think, to spotlight that and give people an opportunity to understand who these people are feels like a very worthy opportunity that we were able to accomplish.
Absolutely.
Also, like for me, drawing is this really natural, expressive thing to do, but I think everybody can do it. And I think a lot of times people approach like artists here kind of like, oh, I can't, if only I could do that, that was only for me. And I always kind of want to look at them and be like, it is for you. Just take out a piece of paper, like now you could do it. Like it's so accessible, it's so for everyone. So I was really excited to kind of see if I could get like that message across, because it's like something I love, but it's like definitely for everyone, and you could be an artist like tomorrow.
Jason was trying to convince me earlier to pick up a pencil.
Do it.
I do it tonight.
Yes.
I'm not going to do it here in front of people. Jin, for you?
When I heard Emmy asked me to do this project, I thought it was just one camera on my shoulder, and then just one simple drawing, step by step, and tutorial drawings. Yeah, I didn't know what I was working with. As far as I set up all these camera screws, I thought they were showing Avengers. It was intimidating, but I think I'm glad I did this, and I think back a long time ago I saw I have the books they're called sketchbooks, actual sketchbooks. It's coincidentally it's the same name, but all these old Disney artists, great artists, their sketches from Bambi and Snow White, all these nice ones. I get an inspiration from that. So I just wanted to do this kind of same thing to the younger generation, younger artists. Not only just artists, to all these who likes the animation, Disney animation, who likes to draw. I wanted to do the same thing, just give back to inspiration. So
That's fantastic, and I would say mission accomplished, because just as someone who's just a fan of watching it, I was completely impressed. Eric, for you?
Getting involved with this series, was really great because it reminded me of an awful lot of, like people have said, the behind the scenes things when I was growing up, and that affected me so much. And what I really liked about it was that we're not just telling our stories, we're actually talking to people saying, hey, we started from the bottom rung. And now we're here, and this is how we got here. And as far as the comfortability of drawing on camera, you know, Jason and his crew was so great at kind of getting the intimacy of that process that it just felt literally like somebody looking over my shoulder while I was drawing, you know, and I can talk and draw at the same. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, but I can talk and draw at the same time, and so it was pretty natural, really, you know, chatting away while drawing the genie.
There's this interesting feeling that people kind of express to me, and I hope to everyone else who's participated in the series, is the type of show that everyone feels that they think they need right. The world's a kind of a tough place, and it's hard to find things that are, you know, enjoyable, that purely are escapism and allow you to kind of, I don't know, like you started this by saying that, you know, people, it's cathartic in a certain way. And so, if anything, it's like, before we even make more, it's almost finding the ability to enjoy these and let this be a little bit of the healthy dose of happiness that I think that we can all use nowadays. So, if anything, you know, let that be the guide that allows us to then go make more of them, because it's a thing that everyone wants.
And all 6 episodes are available now on Disney Plus. And then you can watch Emperor's New Groove. Please enjoy
Mark Henn is teaching class right there. So we're going to learn how to draw Mickey from Mark Henn.
Racers. Don't leave home without them.
Right?
Don't leave home without them. I'm good. How are you? So glad you guys came today.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you? So you've actually been on one of my TV shows I produce.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
I can't keep
When the
track.
Lion King came out on DVD.
You'll have to remind me.
It's called Made in Hollywood.
I'll be right up front. Oh, smart. Taking notes and everything.
Please, you're welcome to draw along if you want. If you don't want, you just want to watch, that's fine too. So no pressure.
No pressure.
Thank you for
Pressure's
taking
on
it.
me.
You've been working all day.
How do you do this? Amazing.
Yeah, you
Oh, there we
twisted.
go.
And if you have any questions along the way, throw something at me, raise your hand, holler at me, whatever you do. Get your peanut gallery loaded up here. Start the bag. All right. Good group. Marvelous. I saw that earlier. Marvelous. All right. So like I said again, if you want to draw, fabulous. If you don't want to draw, that's great too, and you can just sit and enjoy. And like I said, if you have any questions, raise your hand, throw something at me, holler at me, whatever you want to do. Because I'll have my back turned to you for a little bit as we go. Okay, so we're going to get started with a simple shape, but it's a very common shape that we use here at the studio and building a lot of our characters, and that's the circle. But it's more than just a circle. We like to think of it in 3 dimensions. So in my mind, I'm thinking ball. I'm thinking round. Okay? Because what's going to happen is that I want to put a little vertical line here, kind of just off center, because I'm thinking the ball is kind of 3/4. So the view that I'm going to do, we're going to draw Mickey. I'll tell you now. And it's going to be like taking his head and just slightly turning it so where you see, you know, what we call a 3/4 view, okay? So having this little line indicating the horizontal, kind of the division of where the middle of his head would be. Now I'm I'm gonna put in a vertical line, or a horizontal line, I'm sorry, just slightly indicate that. And that's gonna help me establish where I'm gonna put his nose, where I'm gonna have his eyes in relationship, you know, how high or low. Okay, you got that? Again, I'm thinking three-dimensionally. I'm thinking a ball, all right? So now that I've got those two horizontal lines as kind of markers, I can go ahead and put his nose muzzle in, which is that big round banana-shaped thing. Okay? It comes around like this. Put his cheek in over here like this. Mark the end of the nose, the end of the mouth. So you get something that kind of looks like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put on what we call Mickey's mask, which is that, you know, the McDonald's arches, you know, on his face. Now, originally when Mickey was designed, those large white mask area was actually his entire eyeball, because that was the design kind of the 30s, late 20s and 30s. And his pupils, you know, could go all around. So if he needed to look to one side or look up, they kind of occupied that whole space. Over time, as Mickey's design evolved, they just simply became kind of represented his face, okay? And so again, you look at that vertical line in the middle, and he has that kind of that widow's peak is going to come right down where that top of that line is, okay? Like that. That. Now we're gonna, let me put his eyes in again on either side of that vertical line, of course. There's these oval shapes. Originally they were, of course, solid black, what we call a pie eye, or because they moved around the inside of that huge eye. And then it was not until the 40s, right around the time of Fantasia, that Mickey went back into the drawing board, as they say, and had a redesign. They went and did the pupilled eyes. So his eyes went from being these large shapes on his face to just being the little ovals that we know today. Okay?
Now, looks a lot like flounder.
At this moment.
At this one, well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want to fin on the back here? Well, we'll fix that. We'll put a nose on the end of that. That'll take care of that. And I'm gonna, so I put the nose on the end of his snout there, and I'm gonna lay in his mouth here, which kind of comes off the bottom like that. Put his tongue in there, indicate a tongue. Okay. All right, everybody's working so hard. That's great.
Trying to get discovered. Secret auditions.
All right. And of course, the last thing is
the best Mickey gets a job after this event.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he does.
And when you're done, when you're ready, you can kind of shade in the areas. You know, I think you all know what's light and dark on his face here. I put a little highlight on his nose, just to kind of give that dimension. Shade the inside of his mouth there a little bit. So hopefully you end up with something like that.
Mine looks exactly like that.
Exactly, there you go. Any questions? I'll let you finish up.
What about his neck?
He doesn't know. Well, that would just, actually, if you were doing the whole body, you know, you'd be doing something like this.
Another seven.
Can I have that one?
So it'd be something like that. Mickey doesn't have much of a neck. If he gets too much of a neck, he's a little off model. So anyway.
Well, eyebrows.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It all depends. And what's really nice about Mickey is Mickey's very friendly to the artists. And so each artist that has animated and touched Mickey over the years is, is very forgiving and allowing artists to kind of add certain things or take certain things away. Eyebrows is one of those things that some artists would put in and some artists would not. So, any questions on anything else? All right. You okay?
I'm good.
Good.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. You're welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Why don't you start?
You really have a ball belly.
The body's extra. You don't have to worry about the body.
Oh, wasn't that so cool? We just learned how to draw Mickey Mouse from Mark Henn, the man who drew Simba in The Lion King. How freaking amazing was that? I can get some of these. Look at this Fox and Hound artwork. Ah, the Rescuers. I loved the Rescuers when I was a kid. And of course, Pooh Bear. Aristocats. Jungle Book. The Sword in the Stone. Look at this. 101 Dalmatians pencil drawing. Amazing. It's a print on canvas, not just paper, of Wreck-It Ralph. Big Hero 6 pencil drawing. A Frozen story sketch. Wow. A story sketch from Fun and Fancy Free. Jeez. And one from Make My Music. And the 3 Caballeros. So amazing. Oh, wow, man, look at this. I cannot believe this. This is the first Academy Award that they won for Flowers and Trees. And then next year they won for The Old Mill. And then here's the one for the 3 Little Pigs. And Tortoise and the Hare. And of course Fantasia. Holy shnikes, guys. Look at how awesome this is.
So had you met her, or did you know her?
Honorary Oscar for just creating Mickey Mouse. And one for the Ugly Duckling. And of course for Frozen. And Zootopia. And Big Hero 6. Alright, we didn't really get a chance to check all this stuff out on the way in because we were rushing. Here's the Walt Disney Animation Studios emblem. Look at all of this. So amazing. All these animation cells and storyboards. Here's some more storyboards and animation cells. Just like put into the wall. Isn't that so cool? And Peter. This canvas painting of Moana. Look at all this. All the Encanto. Familia. So cool. This is so cool that I have this all set up like this. Alright, there they all are. Oh, look, we're in the bottom of the top of that front part of the building. That is amazing. So there it is, right there. That's what I was trying to show you when we were inside, down where the Encanto stuff was, showing you up inside that part of the building. What more could you ask for? Panel with Disney artists. Mark Henn, the man who drew Simba in The Lion King, showing us how to draw Mickey Mouse. And just a little tour of the animation studios for the Sketchbook FYC event here on the Disney lot. What more could you ask for, huh? I know what I could ask for. I could ask for you to like this video because it really helps me out. It really helps the channel out, helps the video out. And of course, comment on the video because that also helps the video out. And don't forget to subscribe because then you can get more of these videos, more of my FYC events and my filming locations videos, and just general shenanigans all around LA. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. I am out of here.